So we've been talking a lot about prospects on this channel, and we got a little more prospect talk today. Kiley McDaniel of ESPN, one of the writers over there, MLB Insider, gave his top 100 prospects for the 2021 MLB season, so you know we're going to be reacting to them. You know I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinion, and from what I'm seeing on Twitter and Instagram and on Twitch, and everybody telling me to react to this, there's going to be some surprises on here. So as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like on it. That's the best way to show me you like this kind of content on the channel. It's a little different than normal. Subscribe if you have not yet done so. We're on the way to 200K. Can we hit it before opening day, please? Get in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about Kiley McDaniel's top 100 prospect list. And last but not least, make sure you drop me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. All that stuff is in the description down below. So let's take a look at Kiley McDaniel's top 100. It starts off here with number 1. So we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom real quick. I'm going to close my eyes so I don't see anything, and we will start from the bottom, go all the way up to number 1, which is obviously going to be Franco, and if it's not, we're going to be upset. Okay, so getting it started off at number 100, Patrick Bailey, someone who did not make the list originally for MLB Pipeline. He was a first-round pick by the Giants this year. I don't know if I would put him in the top 100 just yet. I think he's actually a really good catcher, and the hitting is going to come probably at some point. I don't know if he's top 100 yet. Number 99, hey, Ryan Weathers. That's a guy who I put in my snub video if you haven't yet seen that. Definitely got snubbed. I think he should be in here. Okay, 99. I like that. I like what we're seeing so far. 98, Jackson Rutledge. I know that's someone that a lot of people thought would make the top 100 for the MLB Pipeline. Was the top prospect for the Nationals at the end of 2020. So this one, I guess that kind of makes a little sense. Cavalli, I think, was ranked 99 on MLB Pipeline. At number 97, DL Hall. This is a guy that I think has dropped a little bit. Also, left-handed pitcher, throws right. I am confused. I think that's a mistake right there. That doesn't seem to make any sense. I think DL Hall's a guy that I said I needed to do a little more research on, because when I looked up his stuff, he's a big left-handed pitcher who throws heat and is nasty. 97 is definitely a little lower than I think where a lot of people have him. Alejandro Kirk cracking the top 100. This one surprises me. Alejandro Kirk's a really good hitter for average. He's basically a much better version of Willians Astudillo. Alejandro Kirk has a little more upside. He's a pretty decent catcher, has a good bat. I don't know if he's a top 100 prospect in my eyes. I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend here. I think he likes guys that are a little more major league ready than guys who are just necessarily talent guys. Shea Langoliers. I don't think he made it in the top 100. Yeah, he didn't. Shea Langoliers is a guy who's been dropping a little bit. They have a lot of catching in that organization. I don't know if I would have put Langoliers in the top 100. That just doesn't feel like a guarantee for me. At number 94, Shane McClanahan, left-handed thrower, throws gas, played in the playoffs for the Rays a little bit. That's fine. Ryan Mountcastle at 93. See, that's what confuses me though, is Ryan Mountcastle's a really good hitter, but you dropped him down and he's definitely MLB ready. Okay, I don't really understand the rankings here just yet, so yeah, I don't know. Ryan Mountcastle, I guess because he says he sees him a little bit more at first base and doesn't have a great glove, so that's probably why. Jordan Blazevich at 92, that's fine. Leover Peguero, that was a guy who was so close, I think, to the top 100. I had him as like one of the guys who almost made my snub video. Just doesn't hit enough for me just yet. SWR, Simeons Woods Richardson for the Blue Jays. I hyped him up in that video. Throws gas, was a former Met. I'm going to be upset about him because he's going to be great one day. At number 89, Taylor Walls. I don't know anything about Taylor Walls. Who is Taylor Walls? He looked like a slam dunk second baseman at Florida State with advanced plate discipline, maybe a Tommy LaStella type if it all worked out. He's now, for some scouts, a plus defensive shortstop with plus contact skills, but more ordinary physical tools with average speed and average arm strength and below average power. I don't necessarily know much about this Taylor Walls guy. I haven't heard much about him, and based on the description, you haven't sold me. I don't know about him at 89. Michael Busch at 88. I don't think he made for the Dodgers either. If you squint, you can see a good bit of Max Muncy and Busch. Busch fits best at first base. I didn't see him in the top 100s, and I think on my research, I just wasn't too high on him just yet. Quinn Priester at 87. Okay, that's definitely a drop. I think he got like very high, right? With the Pirates on this one. Like, was he number 50? 52, yeah. I think this is probably a little more reasonable. I thought he was a little high to begin with on the MLB Pipeline. 87, I think that's a better spot. Ha-Sung Kim didn't make it on MLB Pipeline. He's 25, so that puts him outside of like their range for being a prospect. Technically hasn't played a game yet, so I'm cool with him being inside the top 100. He was great in Korea. He's going to be a good player, I think. 85, Jose Garcia. Yeah, I don't agree with this one bit. I don't think Jose Garcia is a top 100 prospect at all. When you don't hit, I can't get excited, and he just doesn't hit. 84, Taylor Trammell. I like to see my guy getting put up a little higher. Follows me on Twitter. Seems like a good guy. Interviewed him last year. Like to see him get a little higher again, probably because he's close to MLB ready, if not ready now. 83, Miguel Amaya. I'm cool with that. I think he should be lower on these lists. I'm just not completely sold with him being a top prospect. 82, Francisco Alvarez. Ooh, I don't like this one. I don't like this one based on what you've seen from Francisco Alvarez. 82 is ridiculous. Only one spot ahead of Miguel Amaya. What he's been able to do at the plate, what he does defensively, only 19 years old. See? Okay, now I'm seeing the MLB readiness here because him being 19, I feel like prospects should be graded on the potential, on the talent, not their MLB readiness. This seems like he's down here because he's not close to being MLB ready anytime soon. But you know what? I'll give him credit. He does say after a full season of 2021, he's very easily going to get up there on the list. 81, Dane Dunning. That's fine. Dane Dunning, MLB ready type pitcher. He was traded for Lance Lynn. Matt Liberatore at 80. That feels like he's dropped a little bit off of the MLB pipeline. Yeah, wow. Pipeline had him at 37. He put him at 80. I think Liberatore's got really good stuff. I don't know if 80 is fair. 80 feels a little high for him, or low, I guess. That's not a great ranking. Travis Swaggerty. I don't know about Travis Swaggerty being in the top 100. This is a guy who's been viciously underwhelming. Really underwhelming in the past. Was a prospect that people were excited about, but he just hasn't hit for any sort of power. Just really hasn't hit well. I don't understand how Travis Swaggerty makes that 79. I'm just confused about that one there. 78, Trevor Rogers. Again, this feels like an MLB ready type thing. I think Trevor Rogers got good stuff, but I don't know if he's going to be a top 100 prospect guy in my eyes. 77, Ivan Herrera of the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, I don't know if you put him ahead of Francisco Alvarez. He's 20 years old, hasn't played much either. I don't know how you put him ahead of Francisco Alvarez. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Francisco Alvarez is one of the top catching prospects in baseball. Not saying Ivan Herrera isn't, but Alvarez is better. I don't agree with this Ivan Herrera one at 77. I definitely don't agree. Oh my God, Tyler Soderstrom ahead of Francisco Alvarez? What are we doing? And like, it's not that I don't think Tyler Soderstrom will be good, but if you watch what he's got and watch like his swing and how he catches, there are huge improvements he has to make. He is a project. I just don't agree with Tyler Soderstrom at 76. That's insane to put him ahead of Francisco Alvarez. Jordan Adams at 75. Jordan Adams doesn't hit another guy. Okay, I'm starting to realize what he likes. He likes very toolsy guys, but guys that maybe haven't necessarily put up the numbers just yet, because Jordan Adams' numbers have been super disappointing. Just doesn't hit. He's fast. He's a great athlete. They're hoping he can turn into a Joe Adele type. I don't agree with him at 75. That's way too high. 74, Keibert Ruiz. That's a guy who I just don't think is going to be particularly fantastic, but in the top 100's okay. 73, Brendan McKay. Yeah, I'm just not really sold on Brendan McKay. He's not a two-way prospect anymore. He's going to be a pitcher, so I think that loses a lot of his value, and he just hasn't been incredible when he's been called up, and he's 25. I don't know about that. AJ Puck, same thing, 25. I won't necessarily call him a prospect anymore, and again, another guy who seems to be on here because he's MLB ready rookie type stuff. He was great at Florida, but the injuries have been holding him back, so if he can stay healthy, he can be great. Just don't think he's a top 100 guy, especially because of his age. Davey Garcia at 71. Okay, good. I agree. Davey Garcia should be on there. His stuff's really good. I think Davey is definitely a top 100 guy. He was in my snub video. Josh Lowe at 70 for the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about Josh Lowe. I think he's probably a fringe guy. I don't know if I would have put him at 70. 69, nice. Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet definitely deserves to be in the top 100, especially with what he did last year. Throws absolute gas and was a great reliever. Maybe a starter one day. Probably just going to be a nasty reliever like Josh Hader in my eyes. Emerson Hancock, 68. Agree with it. First round pick by the Mariners. University of Georgia. I think he was my second ranked pitcher in the draft, or maybe even first. It was him and Asa Lacy at the top. I think I went Lacy 1, him 2. He's sick. Hunter Green, 67. Agree with it. Hunter Green's sick. Throws gas. Love it. Nick Gonzalez at 66. Completely fine having him ranked there. He has some really good hit tools in the field, yet to be seen, but he definitely rakes. Daniel Lynch, 65. This is a dude who I need to do a little more research on. I said that in the last video with the Kansas City Royals, but he makes the list. That's fine. Alec Thomas, 64. Verdugo-ish type player. He's going to be really good. I'm fine with that there at 64. Brendan Davis, 63. Good. Elliot Ramos, 62. Again, no problems there. These are all guys that I think are fine. Ronnie Mauricio, 61. That's right around where I would have him too. Maybe even a little lower, honestly, like towards the 70s or 80s spot. Mauricio just hasn't really hit much, but again, tools. That's fine. I get it. Mauricio, he's huge, and he might move to third base one day. Josh Jung at 60. Love Josh Jung. Big kid from Texas Tech. Great hitter. Don't need to talk too much more about him. Tristan McKenzie at 59. I think Tristan McKenzie, if you're going to have other guys ranked that high, needs to be a little higher than 59. Xavier Edwards, 58. I like it. Throw some respect on Xavier Edwards' name. That was a guy who in the pipeline video I talked about being ranked a little bit too high. He should be in the 50s range. I like him at 58 for sure for the Rays. Ryan Jeffers. Yeah, I wouldn't put Ryan Jeffers this high. I wouldn't put him this high. I get it. He's great defensively, and he's got a decent bat. 57? 57? That, again, has to be because of the MLB readiness. I don't see Ryan Jeffers as the 57th best prospect in baseball. George Valera. Whoa, George Valera flying up the list here at 56. This is a guy who didn't make the top 100 at all. He had a rough 2019. I don't know about George Valera being 56. Maybe in the top 100, sure, you can make arguments, but 56 feels high. Whatever it is, it feels like it's not a right spot for him. Okay. JJ Bleday at 55, sure, whatever. Edward Cabrera, yes, I think he's going to be sick. He throws heat. Big fan of Edward Cabrera's stuff. I think he's like one of the best arms in their farm system. Tariq Skubal, 53. For some reason, it seems like he values MLB readiness for hitters, but then for pitchers, it doesn't care as much. I don't understand the rankings here. I don't understand the system. Pretty good Tariq Skubal, like one of the best left-handed prospects in the baseball right now. Tristan Casas at 52, okay. Yeah, 52 is not the worst spot for him. That's kind of where MLB Pipeline had him. He's got big power potential, big left-handed bat for the Red Sox. I get it. 51, Christian Robinson. Throw this guy up the list. They probably want to see a little more with him. I get it. But put this guy, just throw him up the list. Put him in like the top 25. Christian Robinson, I'm telling you, watch out for this kid. He's going to be so good. I'm so big on Christian Robinson. I think he's going to be awesome. The dude's like absolute mammoth human being. Nolan Gorman at 50. I like Nolan Gorman a lot. Maybe he bumped him down just because Arenado's still there, but Nolan Gorman's really good. Good on base percentage, good pop, good pitch selection. I don't know what there's not to like about Gorman. He's got a lot of power. Asa Lacy at 49. That's a bit of a drop from the MLB Pipeline. Again, I think that's just MLB readiness. Seems to value it quite a bit. 48, Max Meyer. That's fine. He went like, what, third overall to the Marlins. Jordan Groshans at 47. That's right about where MLB Pipeline had him, and I think that's fair. He's a pretty good prospect, but it's interesting to have him at third base, not shortstop. So that's something to take note of. 46, Zach Veen. If you've watched any of my draft videos, any of my prospect videos, I drool over Zach Veen. I think he's sick. The hit tool is unbelievable with this kid. He's gonna be unreal in Colorado. Another Charlie Blackmon type. 45, Robert Hassel. Robert Hassel, if I could, I'd put him in the top 20. I think this guy is going to be a stud. We're looking at one of the next stars in baseball. Jared Kelenic type prospect. If you want to compare him to somebody recently, that's where I think he's going to be, in that same category with Jared Kelenic. 44 for Spencer Howard. I'll say it again like I did in the Pipeline video. I just don't think Spencer Howard's ever going to be more than like a middle of the rotation kind of guy. Solid pitcher by all means. 43, Logan Gilbert, Seattle Mariners. He's been getting a lot of hype. Part of that young pitching core of the Mariners that's going to be making an impact very soon. 42, Nick Madrigal. For a guy who hits for good average, gets on base, plays good defense, makes sense. I'm fine with it. Jeter Downs at 41. That's pretty much the same area as where I would expect. Good ball player. 40, Jasson Dominguez, the 18-year-old, the Martian, who is just a freak. Yeah, I mean, Jasson Dominguez is definitely top 50. Hasn't seen a single game in pro ball just yet, but we've seen what he does. He's built like a actual man, like an adult man. He is called the Martian for a reason. He's out of this world. I'm okay with him being at 40. Like, it's crazy, but it probably works. Wow, very high on Geraldo Perdomo. This is a guy who doesn't really hit much just yet, but apparently what this guy said is he added bulk, so 15 homers doesn't seem ridiculous. If he's added some weight, added some power, that's going to be huge for his game. He's got a really good glove. Austin Martin at 38. He was a first-round pick by the Toronto Blue Jays. Some thought he could have maybe even been a #1 overall pick this year if it wasn't for Torkelson. Second base, shortstop, outfield. Austin Martin's going to be a special player. Trevor Larnach at 37. Where did Pipeline rank him? They put him at 80. Okay, so this is a guy who's going to be probably MLB ready this year. Larnach's got some pop in that bat. He's got a good at the plate. I think 37 is a little up there, but maybe towards that like 50 range a little more, but we're nitpicking at that point, so who really cares? Nothing ridiculous there. Josiah Gray, 36. Josiah Gray is sick. Again, disgusting. Look at his numbers in the minors. He has like a 2 ERA for his career. Hasn't pitched that much, like only 120 innings, I think. Josiah Gray, ooh, keep an eye out for this kid. He's coming. 35, Tyler Stevenson. Whoa, Tyler Stevenson? Is he our top-ranked catcher outside of Adley Rutschman? I don't know about Tyler Stevenson being at number 35. He's a guy who just made the top 100 in MLB Pipeline. 35 seems like a stretch. I don't know if he is going to be that good of a catcher where you're like, man, you're getting into this like top 30 category. You're talking about like multiple time all-star, one of the best catchers in the league, I think. I don't know about him at 35. He's going to be good. He can hit. Just don't know if it's going to be 35 worth. 34, Drew Waters. I think Drew Waters is really good. Kind of the like unappreciated outfielder of the Atlanta Braves. The hype's around Pache. Waters is really good still. 33, Nolan Jones of the Cleveland Indians. He's going to be the future third baseman. Might even get a call up this year. Maybe even play a little bit of third base, but he has a cannon of an arm. Maybe you find him a spot in the corner outfield. Cannon of an arm, big power, left-handed swing. He's pretty much ready to get there at some point anytime this year. 32, Joey Bart. Joey Bart took quite a dive for him. Moving in the wrong direction. He ranked 7th overall last year because he had plus raw power, plus defensive ability behind the plate. The concern last year was contact rate and more specifically pitch selection. Yeah, I mean, it was like 33 games at the major league level last year. Didn't look great, but I don't know. Joey Bart has always been a guy that's hit. I don't know. I'm not going to take too much stock in his 103 at-bats and drop him that badly. Like, the guy has really good hit. Jazz Chisholm at 31. That feels a little high. I've never been a guy that's particularly crazy about Jazz. Big swing and miss potential, big power potential. The glove's okay. I don't know about 31. That feels high for Jazz. Like, I just don't see him being that great. You're comparing him to Adalberto Mondesi and Willy Adames. I don't think they have similar sort of skill. I think they're much different players. I don't like those comparisons one bit, honestly. Number 30, here we go. Top 30, Grayson Rodriguez. Again, sorry, Orioles fans. I just don't know too much about your prospects, but I do know Grayson Rodriguez has been hyped up and he's got sick stuff. So 30's fine. 29, Luis Campusano. Okay, good. He put Luis Campusano on here. I was worried for a second that he put Tyler Stevenson ahead of him. Campusano is one of the top catching prospects in baseball. He's sweet with the bat, sweet with the glove, sweet with the arm. He's a beast. 28, O'Neal Cruz. Whoa, O'Neal Cruz jumping high on this list. Third base, interesting you'd list him there because they got Ke'Bryan Hayes, and he's not moving anywhere from third base anytime soon. His best chance is probably to play shortstop. Power's through the roof. Talent is through the roof. The possibilities are through the roof. Corbin Carroll at 27. Wow, I'm surprised that he put him that far ahead of Alek Thomas. I personally think Alek Thomas is a little better. Corbin Carroll, though, probably a little younger. Gets on base a little more, I think. So Vidal Brujan at 26. That's like almost half as high as he was with the MLB pipeline. They had him at 50. 26 feels a little high for Brujan. A lot of people are super high on him. I'm not as high. I think he's going to be a great player. Again, I need to see more hitting. I need to see more hitting. You got to see more hitting. Doesn't have a lot of power. 25, Riley Green. This is a guy who's been jumping up a lot of lists for the Detroit Tigers. I expect him to get called up this year. Why not give him a chance? They just don't have a lot of outfield talent there. Give it to Riley Green. Why not? 24, Michael Kopech. Agree with it. Throws gas. As long as his head's there, he's going to be a really good pitcher. I'm cool with him at 24. Matt Manning, 23, part of the Tigers' great young pitching staff that's coming up. He's going to be ready in 2021. Get some serious innings, I think, for sure. Alex Kirilloff at 22. A lot of people have him pretty high. That's fine with me with Kirilloff there. He's going to be MLB ready. He's going to be on the opening day roster, most likely. Patino at 21. I think that's almost exactly where MLB Pipeline had him. 19, yeah, pretty close. Like, Patino is going to be sick with the Rays. You got a fantasy baseball team? Circle this guy, put him on your squad. He's going to be awesome. Number 20, Casey Mize. That feels a little low, and maybe it's because of his performance at the MLB level last year. It wasn't great, but Casey Mize is sick. Marsh at 19, yeah, I just don't see it. For a guy, again, I like hit tools a lot. Clearly, this guy values speed, fielding, glove, arm a little bit more. The hit tools haven't been great for Brandon Marsh, but he does have the physical element. So I guess it's like, if you can see him put it together, what's he going to be like? Yeah, present value 40, like I think that makes sense. Future value 60, that's fine. He can definitely be an all-star at some point. 19 does feel a little up there. Dylan Carlson, 18, like that would make sense. Dylan Carlson hits well, has got the power, has got a decent glove. I like Dylan Carlson a lot. 18's cool. 17, Bobby Witt Jr. I think that's a little more realistic. I thought MLB Pipeline had him a little too high in the top 10. Bobby Witt there at 17. 16, Christian Pache. I think he's a top 10 prospect. I think the hit tool is fine, and he's just a disgusting outfielder. Like, he is Byron Buxton. He's Byron Buxton. He's Byron Buxton part 2. Keep an eye out for Pache. Royce Lewis at 15 feels insane. This is a guy who's been dropping. Hasn't performed at the minor league level at all. 15, I think, is holding on to the pipe dream that the number 1 overall pick by the Twins is going to be able to get that back. And he just hasn't been good in the minors. I don't like him at 15 at all. That's so high. 14, Nate Pearson. Yeah, I like Nate Pearson in the top 10. Nate Pearson just throws gas. And I think he's, again, taking into account the MLB performance he had last year. We got to take everything with 2020 with a grain of salt, people. He throws 101, got a nasty slider. Nate Pearson's legit. Mackenzie Gore at 13? Mackenzie Gore's not even in your top 5? What? How is Mackenzie Gore not in your top 5? The explanation from San Diego on why he didn't pitch in the big leagues last year, jumped ahead of him in the debut, was that Gore was a little out of whack with his delivery, so timing wasn't right. Took a short look at him in the Futures game when he was a bit flat and tended to agree with this logic. Yeah, I just don't agree. I don't agree. Oh, wow. Outside the top 10's insane for Mackenzie Gore. He's so good. 12 for Ian Anderson. I actually like that you're giving Ian Anderson a little more credit than Pipeline, although I think they still had him inside their top 20. He was gross in the majors last year. He's a guy who is going to be a problem, a part of that Braves rotation. Fried, Soroka, Ian Anderson. That's a good three-headed monster that's young, and the Mets are going to have to deal with for a long time. I'm not excited. Then just missing on the top 10, Sixto Sanchez. I think that's fine. Again, I think he really does value if guys have had some major league experience and if they've done well. Sixto did really well, looked really good. Started to pitter out a little bit towards the end, started to get figured out a little bit. My concern with him has always been the elbow. He throws a little weird. He doesn't throw conventionally. It's not great for the elbow, but he's got nasty stuff, no doubt. Top 10, number 10, Randy Arozarena. No, Randy's not really a prospect. Can we stop with this? Randy inside the top 10, ridiculous. Randy's sick. He's a real player now. He's no longer a prospect. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be good. Probably a little bit of a slow start this year. Probably not going to be at the pace that he did last year, but top 10's nuts for Randy. I just don't agree with that. Like, he's not a prospect really anymore. Julio Rodriguez, number 9. Wow, why'd they give him so down? It's a little unfair to harp on his tendency to chase out of the zone this winter when most players aren't even playing, but the pitch selection issue is the biggest one around Rodriguez. Yeah, but like, for you to take winter ball and make him drop a little bit seems ridiculous to me, and his present value at 35 I think is crazy low. Hit at 30 present, power at 35 present? What are we talking about? I don't agree with this one bit. Not at all. At least he sees raw power is 80, but I don't agree with that evaluation one bit. Andrew Vaughn at number 8. Okay, I don't agree with it. Have the highest probability to be an above average like in my last video, I think I said he's a Pete Alonso type player. I just don't think that's top 10 prospect going into this season, especially with how much talent's in the farm systems right now. I don't have Andrew Vaughn at 8. I disagree with that. He's a great prospect, but raw power 65, I don't even agree with that. I think he's higher. I maybe should have been paying attention to his tool gradings more. I don't agree with some of these. Number 7, Marco Luciano. Really? We're gonna go Luciano at 7? I think he's a top 20 guy. I don't think about 7 just yet. You have him at third base. This is what doesn't make sense to me. 30 and 35 for his hit and power grades. The raw power's not as high as Julio Rodriguez. Like, how do you put him higher than Julio Rodriguez? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Don't get it at all. Like, Julio Rodriguez's grades, I think, are just better. How is he higher? 6, Ke'Bryan Hayes. I love Ke'Bryan Hayes in the top 10. You know I love that. I think he's sick in the field, sick at the plate. He's gonna be someone you want to watch. Okay, love the respect for Ke'Bryan Hayes, though. Thank you very much. CJ Abrams, 5 as a center fielder, I guess, because maybe Tatis is gonna be there for a while. I understand maybe trying to make him a center fielder. 5? Okay. CJ Abrams, top 10. I agree. 5, maybe a little high, but inside the top 10, I'm cool with that. CJ Abrams, though, 5. I just can't get on that. I just can't get on board with that one. Number 4, we got Spencer Torkelson. I think that's right where I put Torkelson, or did I put him at outside the top 5? Torkelson, top 10, obviously. Top 5, fine. I have no problems with it. He's got huge power. Hitting power, 35 and 40, though. That feels low again for the present value. This is a guy who could maybe sneak his way up in 2022 if he has a good minor league season this year. 3, Jared Kelenic. I had him at number 2, but at least he's in the top 3. I have no beef with this. Jared Kelenic's going to come up this year. He's going to be great. He's probably going to win the Rookie of the Year. Like, I have no doubt that he's going to come up this year and be great. Adley Rutschman at 2. I think I had him at 3, so you just swap those two. Adley Rutschman, sick. I saw someone comment that he's the most underrated catcher in all of baseball, or a prospect in baseball. I don't know how you could even say that. All around good. Catcher, hitter, fielder, all that stuff. I've talked about him enough. And then at number 1, thank goodness, it's Wander Franco. So he ended strong. The top 10 ended okay. It ended fine. I should maybe at least say the top 6 ended fine. I don't agree with Luciano. I don't agree with Andrew Vaughn. I don't agree with how low Julio Rodriguez is and Arozarena in the top 10. Overall, this isn't a bad prospect list by any means, and it really doesn't matter what I think. Kiley McDaniel, is it the worst prospect ranking I've ever seen? No. People are freaking out. I think he has a really good grip of what's going on, and that's why he works at ESPN, guys. Do I disagree with a lot of his evaluation? For sure. But at the end of the day, the only way to find out is when these guys get called up. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens in 2021. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Where do you agree or disagree with these rankings? Drop me a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. All the links are in the description. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video.